God is in the relationships that, are part of life and in which the interaction of love takes place. And yet there's also a sense that's if you like, the incarnational God for me. The Jesus who came and allowed that to be a reality. But there's also a sense of other, mystery, worship, mystique, some sense that beyond us as human people, there is this other, very loving and life-giving force. Thomas Aquinas was always a hero of mine, theologian of the 12th century, and he said the highest authority in the church is the individual's informed conscience, and that has always given me such freedom, such freedom. I have a sense in which if I inform my conscience about different teachings or about a situation in the world or, the gospel message, and then I make my choice out of that in a loving relationship with God, I'm okay. Although I do listen to the authority of the church, I don't always necessarily listen hard. Yes. I was reading an article, read it in a magazine, about AIDS Foundation, and I suddenly thought, well, I could offer as a facilitator and an educator to be part of that. So I just bowled up and said, here were my skills and I'd like to be an educator. And then I said, oh, by the way, I'm a Catholic sister, is that all right? And, imagine, to the credit of New Zealand AIDS Foundation, yes, that was all okay. I sort of went back to the sisters saying, how about I volunteer with the AIDS Foundation? And they said, yes, that's where we should be. I had half thought they'd say, oh no, Paula. But no, they said, no, quite right, that's where we should be. Which was, huge support for me. It's always been there. It was hard in those days, I think. It was hard for all of us because there was stigma in the general community. There was fear. The health professionals were just coming to grips with their processes of dealing with it. And it was all very bit over the top all round, really. Those were the days of plastic knives and forks in the hospitals and gowns and masks. And, it was a death sentence to be told you were HIV positive. So there was huge fear, as well as from the more fundamentalist churches. This was the wrath of God and the punishment of God on these terrible, terrible people. Every single man who died in that era gifted us, imagine, with the joy, not the joy, it was just the gift of their death, because they did it with such courage, dignity, and Being a sister of St. Joseph, I find a group of women to journey with, asking the questions. I don't think we're so interested in the answers. We're more interested in the questions and how relevant they are, particularly to New Zealand society today and how God fits into that. So I've been very lucky.